We are here with our lovely Yes Chef picture, and we're going to start painting it. That's the plan. Once I've got all my stuff in position, I think we do, we're going to angle this down just a little bit more. Woohoo! Here we go. See a little bit more light on this artwork, just like that. Jump on our iPad here, if I can find the go button. And first layer, kicked a lot of detail into it. That was well worth the while. Next layer. We're gonna jump in here with just a whole bunch of colors. Go a little bit wild, splash them around. We might chuck some transparency through a few of them if they're a bit intense, and see where it takes us. Hola, how we doing, Leonard? Welcome on in. Met a lovely person called Ola, actually. She was a real lovely individual. Anyway, back into this. Go into photos, into our picture. Now, since we've had our fun and started painting this upside down, we're gonna flip it back up the right way now. If I can figure out the right buttons to push. Bang. So if you were here at the start, we started this painting upside down, just to be a little bit wild and crazy, and now we've flipped it back up the right way. Now I'm pushing you guys back a little bit, just bear with me. There we go. Hope you like that. That's where we want you to be. Okay, and we have our paint here, a little stack of paint. Look at this gorgeous little cute thing. Can you imagine that just that amount of pigment can make art? Just like that. That's all we need. Wild. Cracked open our palette. Oh, bending down low. Still having a little bit of trouble with my knees, guys. Just a little bit of trouble. It's not the end of the world, but honestly, it's a little bit annoying. I'll say that much. But we're managing. Let's get these through here. Here's my brushes. Now in place. That's in place. That's on there. And some jars. Voila. Tati. Hey Jackson, how we doing? Okie dokie team. First color off the ranks is gonna be our delightful, we've got two shades here, we're gonna choose one of them. We've got lemon yellow, and we've got, yellow light. We're gonna go for lemon yellow. Lemon yellow sounds like fun. Here we go. There we go. A little shot in there. That's enough? That's definitely enough. Grab our mix here. Our lovely mix. Add a little bit in here. Just a touch. And grab our brush. Voila. Mix it on in. And get our delightful yellow into the scene. Delightful yellow entering the scene. Yellow's a funny one. At the moment it's got that cold sort of look to it, but when we add this in here, it's going to change it and warm the face up, which is part of the fun behind this sort of stuff. Look at the effect that has straight away. Pow, pow. There we go. There we go. Perfect, perfect. I always like using yellow after we've chucked around some of those bigger, darker colors, because then it can sit on top. And if it's translucent, see-through, it can jump in there, play around in the gaps, and just add that warmth into the overall palette. And that's exactly what it's doing right now, which is kind of fun. Kind of fun. And we'll keep dabbling around with this color. Now, I was saying earlier, this is just a 60-minute blitz session. We're not going to be here all night. We are going to be here, but not here all night. So I just want to leap on, spend some time with you. If you're around for the 60 minutes, that's fantastic. If you miss a bit of it, that's okay too. I say, all the replays get uploaded. I bet you're from our South Island, eh? Am I right? You are wrong. You're a lovely individual. I love the way you took a stab. But in this case here, unfortunately, you are incorrect. I'm from the North Island. We're currently painting here in Auckland, but you probably got the South because I am originally from King Country. So there is this underlying R rolling accent in there. And you're probably picking up on that, a bit more subtle. Love the colours, Laura. Yeah, Laura. Got some crazy colours coming to this. We're going to keep throwing colours at it, really using our imagination to see what we can do with the colour palette and really start throwing it around. There we go. There we go. Throw around that through there. Just keep blossoming in some tones. Woo. Be careful about those drips though. We don't want too many drips. Now I probably mixed up a bit much of this. A bit much, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll make it work. There we are. Splashing that around through there. Nice. We'll drive on some black in the deep dark hills of eastern Kentucky. Well, I'm in Bulls. That's exciting. You know, one thing I always buy when I go through Bulls, there's a whole bunch of sauces. They're like, they're called Bulls, like, they're all themed off Bull stuff, but there's a whole bunch of like mustard, tomato sauce, spicy sauce, and I love getting some of those. Mum always grabs them. This isn't Steve Rick. Who am I painting? This is the guy from The Bear, actually. We started it for fun. Definitely have a distinctive accent. All right. Yeah, no, I've met some people from Texas as well. Stopped by Texas University. Oh no, wait, sorry. I stopped by College Station, where there is a university, but the big one that I went to was in actually North Dakota, of all places. You'd be like, North Dakota? What's he doing in North Dakota? Saw the biggest buffalo in the state, which wasn't a real buffalo. It was a statue of a buffalo. But North Dakota, pretty cool place. Nate's like, I know the buffalo. Great buffalo. Everyone talks about it. It's a hot topic here. And we're not going to let the previous lines actually guide us here, guys. We might even move things around a little bit, push some objects here and there. Here we go. We're really not fast to stick with anything we've previously done as a Bible to tell us what this painting can be. We're just going to swap and move, especially with black. With black, we get any opportunity we want to push things around. I want to push you around, well I will. I want to push you down, well I will. I want to take you for granted. It's such a mean song. If you were his partner and you heard that song, you'd be like, maintenance meeting. I know we said we're going to talk about our feelings more. I'm a bit concerned with the song you sung at the concert last night. And I was hoping we could talk about it some more. Because I thought I put it pretty clearly in the song. Hello, Katia. Hello, Katia. I want to push you around. Well, I will. I want to push you down. Well, I will. I want to take you for granted. I want to take you for granted. Yeah, well, I will. There we go. Lovely. He's got quite a long nose. It's one of his fetching attributes. You wouldn't expect it to be fetching, but it is in this guy's case. I wanna push you around. Well, I will. Well, I will. I wanna push you down. Well, I will. Well, I will. I wanna take you for granted. I wanna take you for granted. Yeah, well, I will. There we go. Get those colours in there. Strong. It's not Natalie. I'm not sure why it comes through as deep. It's more high pitched, to be honest. I think it changes video to video too. I think it might be the acoustics in the room. You might be like, yeah, sometimes his voice is deep, sometimes it's high pitched. It really does chop and change. I wanna push you around. Well, I will. Well, I will. I wanna push you down. Well, I will. Well, I will. I wanna take you for granted. I wanna take you for granted. Yeah, well, I will. Sujan, you mean the whole thing of me painting the guy from The Bear? What does it look like? The old mate is from the album cover. And all the paint, it could be Chanel, could be. It's not outside the realms of possibility. I wanna push you around. Well, I will. I will. I wanna push you down. Well, I will. Well, I will. Dun, 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 dun. We'll put that one down. Let's grab our white paint. White paint. No, Natalie, but I can just sing the song for you. Poorly. The colour scheme of how you're using painting, it looks like an artist I listened to album cover. That's fun. That's fun. Oh. Let's see if we can retain that or if I just destroy that. I'm excited to find out. Here we go, let's mix this up in here. Dun 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 la dun 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 dun. La doo da doo 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 doo. La da 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 doo. I wanna push you around. There we go. Beautiful. Here we are. Hello, Mason. How we doing? Ooh, Laura. Inspiration comes from the artwork itself. The process of painting. Making artwork gives you inspiration. If you're talking about, well, then how do you start making artwork? To start making artwork is a process of motivation. So you've got this little dance going on between inspiration and motivation. And without one, you can't have the other. Without the other, the first one's useless. You need both. So together, together, you can make a, oh, there we go. Lovely long stroke there. We're still in the early days with this piece. I had someone asking, did we really make it that fast? And where we plan on taking it? Now we do plan on taking it a little bit further, see what we can do with it, but it's still in its infancy. It's going to take about, we'll see. We'll see. If we can get loose with our brush strokes and actually get more fresh and abundant and creative, I reckon we can nail this in a shorter period of time, but there's no guarantee on that. Can't force it. Can only do our best to try. Put ourselves in a mind frame and the painting in a space and the colours in front of ourselves to give the painting the best possible chance of success without any guarantee of it. Kind of like investing in a share market for paintings. What is Saatchi art? I've heard of it, and for some reason I'm drawing a blank right now. It's I think it's a type of art of some sort. I mean, you already know that. I mean, it's funny, you typed it into a chat room with 55 people when you could have gone on YouTube and typed in the same question and got a much better answer from a robot that borderline knows everything. Now, I appreciate that you asking it here means you almost put me on par with that robot in order, considering my ability to give you that answer. But trust me, when I say I'm not qualified enough to be competing with that robot. Here we go. I wanna push you around. Well, I will. Well, I will. I wanna push you down. All right, we need something interesting here, guys. Might be a little bit annoying, but I know you guys can fix it if you wanted to. You just rotate your phone in your hand and we'll all be okay. Do 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 do. We're gonna go for a flipsy whoopsie. You don't have to call it a flipsy whoopsie. You can call it rotation. You can call it rotation station. You can call it a regular flip. You can call it a 180 degree change. So we've rotated over, and the reason we're going to rotate it over, here we go, is so we can start seeing little pockets of shadows, colours that we wouldn't normally see. See, what will normally happen is we get attracted to, allured, enamored by, pulled in, allured by eyes, ears, edge of the face. You'll see that become more pronounced since we started painting. And as we flip it over, suddenly we'll stop seeing the iconography that we valued so much, or the symbols like the strap and things, and we'll start noticing more shades, cut lines, and movements inside the painting. You don't always need to rotate 180 degrees. Even 30 degrees will have a huge impact on your understanding of it. And if you always flip, sometimes you can go half. Sometimes you can go 30 degrees. There's a whole spectrum. There's actually 360 degrees to work with. So whichever part you take, you will spot new things and it'll adapt the way you see a picture, which I think is pretty cool. See, straight away there, that strap actually encroaches into the face more because his chin line's here, which means his mouth is actually more like here. Funny how that can happen. Have you ever painted something you don't like and you like now? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You're allowed to do that. That's a altering opinion. Happens all the time. Happens all the time. Slipping through my fingers all the time. I try to find, what's that song? Every minute. Why did I hear that song recently? What was I doing? I forget these things. Slipping through my fingers all the time. I try to find you every minute. See, one thing you do as well is you shrink eyes down I don't know why we do that. Make them smaller, but slipping through my fingers. Oh, I think there's a remix out though, isn't there? I think it's more modern. Slipping through my fingers all the time. I try to capture every minute. No, it's gone. It's gone. TikTok plays it a lot, slipping. Okay. So that's what's happened there. I've probably been scrolling through TikTok before I came on here, and I've been, I've seen that, and then I've thought it's an original thought, and it isn't. And then the next thing you know, I go on TikTok or onto Google and I search for something, and the sponsored advert is for a TikTok album cover, and how stereo sounds so much better. And all of a sudden, I own a stereo player, and I'm listening to Slipping Through My Fingers by TikTok. And Google and TikTok have my money. Wild how that works. Crazy world out there. Mamma Mia has a cover? I bet it does. I bet it does. Slipping through my fingers all the time. I try to capture every minute. Bada-bing, ba-ba-ba-boom. I'm going to bring this down a little bit. See that there? All that space there, it's not empty negative space. We're going to build that into it a bit more. And through here, enjoy a little swipesy. Beautiful. Coming down low. Drop it down low on the floor. Get a little more down through there. Get that crazy haircut. Talking my language. Just like that. Big shapes. Big shapes. Does anybody know where does he come from? Daniel, I'm from New Zealand, mate. New Zealand. So that is, if you're in America, you need to go a little bit south. If you're in Australia, go to the east. Try to go a little bit south, southeast. If you're going by boat. If you hit hit New Zealand, you want to go into the North Island of New Zealand, and then I'm currently painting a flexible office space where the studio is based. And that's everything you need to know. How did you not get any on your shirt? Sometimes I do. The shirt's an op shop shirt. And the good thing about egg tempera is if I do spill any, egg tempera is a wonderful medium in that you can wash it off with cold water until it does its process of coagulation, emulsifying. Once it's emulsified, it's very, very tough to do anything with. But before that happens, this paint is free for you to do whatever you really well please to do, which is kind of cool. All right. Slipping through my fingers all the time. I try to catch. Sorry, guys, that is so deeply entrenched in my head right now. Okay. 5 days to the US by ship. Look at me learning. I didn't know that. It's 14 hours on a flight from the US to New Zealand. They usually fly out of LA. So you'll go Auckland to LA, and then from there, wherever else you go. Yes, Jesse, all gone. So Movember is over. Here in New Zealand, it is the first day of December. So, no more mustaches, just back to normal. New Zealand is a beautiful country. I appreciate that. It's an amazing place to be based, guys. There we go. Beautiful. Let's dabble this around through here a little bit. Slipping through my fingers all the time. I try to capture every minute. Lovely. Get all these shadows. Watching you. I've been watching you. A la 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 long. A la 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 long, 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 long. Come on. A la 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 long. A la 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 long, 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 long. A little more liquid in there. We'll use the white to make that liquid. Mix that up. Really get that teal color popping. Asking for a friend, Wolfgang. I never was, but I appreciate you being here. Good to have you back, mate. Here we go. A little bit through here, and let's keep, yeah, there we go. Splishy splashy. Now remember, if you're just joining us, we're just doing a wild little 60-minute session on this painting here. Just a quick little vivid wild card session. We're going to be here, done 17 minutes. We're going to do another, do the math on that, 43 minutes. Maybe a little bit less because I need to pack up my stuff and cut a track. But before that happens, you're welcome to hang out here. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here. And hopefully, start to capture this face with a bit more paint through it. There we go. Whew. It's getting a bit extreme with these colours. A bit messy and a bit wild. Teal with a little bit of white through it. It gets way more pop. So you see that initial teal that went down? Didn't really have a whole lot of impact. But now we spliced it with the white. Suddenly, it's leaping in everywhere with a lot of power. So that's pretty wholesome. There we go. Slipping through my fingers all the time. I try to capture every minute. There we go. Lovely. Beautiful, beautiful colour. Question is, what's going to be next? Green. Let's get a bit of green in there. We'll put it straight into the teal, mix it together, and see where that takes us. The specific colour of green is going to be permanent green olive. And hello, Jay. How we doing? I'm going to put a little bit in there. My accent went away when you dang. Accent went away when you dang. Did it sang? Oh, probably because we want to sound like you guys. We want to sound like Americans. So we just remove our accents to try and be more like you. We love America. We love hamburgers. We love... Nah, hamburgers are going to be one of my favorite foods, though. Did Americans invent hamburgers? I forget. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. Hello, how you doing? Welcome on in. Welcome on in. All right. Permanent green olive. This color is going to be dark. Not super dark. Just a little bit darker. Here we go. And we're going to put this color. Yeah, you can use it all over the show. Why not? Rushing through my fingers all the time. I try. Dun, 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 dun. Rushing through my fingers all the time. There we go. Splashing this around through here. So we're just loading it up with different colors. Now, we get some definition. We lose some definition. We pull it back. We pull it forward. It really is a matter of allowing these colors just to play in order to start building a greater element of depth. If you demand form out of it immediately, you'll get it. But if you demand form immediately, you'll lose play. and you'll lose the incredible little journey that you can wrap up inside the artwork itself. We want that artwork wrapped up in it. Ooh, all right, well, thank you very much, Germany. I appreciate the hamburgers you made. That makes sense, actually. Hamburger sounds much more German. I appreciate your facts. Oh, thanks, Angel. I appreciate that. And no, we're not Australian. This is Kiwi land. But even though we're popped down here in the middle of the South Pacific, the artwork ships everywhere, which is pretty cool. So, it took a lot of work to figure out how to correctly ship a painting anywhere else around the world. But once you get the hang of it, you're away. Because making your art accessible to the world is pretty important. Here we go. Oh, now we're talking. Always fun putting green into a face. It just has this, there's more green in a face than you'd realize. But we always think to ourselves, no. Don't add green. It'll make the character look sick. And there is that fear, and sometimes rational. But it's also really important to add it, because it is part of the underlying colour and skin tone. In this case, exaggerated, but in some cases, much more punchy, bringing in a more fun, crazy element into the face. So, definitely a must-do, but it just depends on how you've gone about the application process. All right, you should be an art teacher. I prefer being an artist, but I do enjoy sharing the process with you guys. So I'm glad that you think I'd have what it takes to stand in front of a group of kids and try and inspire them to pursue their own crazy versions of art. Sounds pretty fun, actually. Slipping through my fingers all the time. I try to capture every minute. I want a lighter colour now. Something bright and vibrant, punchy. I think I'm going to add a little bit of permanent carmine into there. Lovely. Lovely. It's lovely. The green really adds to the face. Yeah, it makes it a bit more chaotic. It's good, it's good. And now this orange here, we've already got a similar orange colour hanging around in the background there. Sort of like a flame red, naphthol crimson. Not quite as bright as this orange though. This is a different tone. You'd almost consider the other one as a flame red tone, more of a red. This is definitely pushed closer to yellow, meaning that we do get much more of that pretty orange tone. If asked, would you ever take on an apprentice as the days grow old? Yeah, absolutely. And actually what a lot of artists do is they have, rather than saying apprentices, they are mentors. So I was talking to a lady named Ola, who edits children's books, not edits them, sorry, does the illustrations for them, does incredible work. And she was talking about the mentor that she has. So she's got her own mentor who helps guide her and builds her process. That's really healthy to have. And actually, I have many mentors, but not in the realm of art. So I need to fix that. I need to get some art mentors as well, certainly. But as an artiste, everyone should have a mentor. Thanks, Stephen. And I've been good, Naya. Having a great day. How can I get a painting done? There's two questions there. First question is, are you after making your own painting, or are you after one of my paintings? If you're after making your own painting, you can either hang out here, paint along with me, or reach out. I can I'm trying to make a schedule right now where I can let you know when I'm live. Because if you're struggling to get motivated to do it by yourself, you are welcome to join along with me and see if that helps. just in these lives, nothing major, nothing too intense. And if you're wanting a painting from me, right, now that's where it gets interesting. So at the moment, there's tons of prints. I just sorted them out, just got them going in the print shop. So I spent this morning, that's what I've been doing, setting up prints non-stop so you guys can purchase them. They're also up there in the print shop, but the wild card is there's only another 5 days until I close off all prints for December, January, the summer months over here. I'm not disappearing, but over that period, I'll be with family, so I want to prioritize making the art with you guys. And then for the originals, couple of options. Either you can message me and I can show you the current originals that I have. I keep a few in my house. We've sold the last batch we had that I was sort of like putting out there in the world. They're now gone, but I keep about 2 or 3 back in my house, and so I can send you pictures of those. If you are interested, just reach out. Emails on the website, via any platform, that's all good. They might connect with you. If one really, you think, that's the one, perfect. But if all 3 of them you think, not quite, that's okay too. They speak to me because I was there as a creator, but you're always trying to find out the perfect match for a painting. You know, if you're gonna have a painting in your home, it's gonna match with you. You know, almost like a loved one, which is pretty fun. And that's option 3, yes. So in terms of the last option we have, commission a painting. And there is, the spot just got taken to do it. I had a spot open, I think it's been taken, or someone's got it on hold for December. I've got one other painting that I want to do before Christmas. We could fit you in. If you wanted to get it for Christmas, jump on the link in the bio and fill out the commission link. I reckon we can sort you out. But more than anything, I want to see this picture. So, link in the bio, and then select commission and original. Link in the bio, and then to commission and original. And from there, we can see if we can put a project together. I think we can. I love it when someone comes in quite certain as well. Like, hey, I have a picture. I want to see it made into paint. Like, I know what I want. You're the style I need. Let's do it. That's that clarity. Let that clarity be something that gives you a huge amount of confidence, because there's very few moments in our life that we go through that we suddenly feel moments of epiphany and clarity, and we think, yes, this is a good idea. And so if you've got an image that you're excited about and you feel like this is the style you're after, that's the thing you need. Honestly, I'm not saying leap into spontaneous, wild decisions, but sometimes trust your gut and realize that those moments are rare, can be rare. You want your son painted? I love that. We were just doing some parents. It's not here anymore. I've just got it curing in the before I take it, get a frame sorted for it, and then it's going to head off. But it's a pretty fun painting. Yeah, we've been attacking it, LJ. We've been absolutely attacking it, but we're only here for another, I'm going to say 15 minutes. And the type of paint that I'm using, classic question. Got an artist in the room. The type of paint I'm using is egg tempera. So we're egg tempera, we're combining it with pigment pastes, and we're making art from that. That's the plan. Slipping through my fingers all the time, I try to cap. We're gonna add a little bit of this into our white, just a touch, like a 10:1 ratio. Mix it in, and it's gonna give us this off-white tan. Almost like a ivory. Probably an ivory is fair. We're gonna mix that over the surface a little bit. It's quite thin, it's quite fun to spread. I've heard of an artist using blood before. Well, I think the issue that comes in there is like a hygiene thing, and realize that blood isn't really the best thing, so it's going to discolor over time and has a strong pigmentation of its own. Egg yolk is very, very unique though. It's its own binder in the form that it has a very, very good balance, a pH balance, so it lasts almost indefinitely. The Last Supper, made with egg tempera. This is a very, very old style of painting technique. And as far as we know, so far, we've got examples that have lasted for 2,500 years, and they're continuing to last, whereas oil paintings and acrylic paintings are actually petering out. They're yellowing, they're degrading. That doesn't happen if egg tempera is done properly. That's really special. Unusual medium you've used for your art. Ooh. Honestly, if you want to look at the spread of things you can use to make art, acrylic's pretty strange. The fact that when we started making art, now we'd say that painting on leather and working with egg and oil and things, they're unusual, you know, walnut oils and coconut oils. We're like, this is so strange. We'd actually been painting with those for tens of thousands of years. They'd been our mediums. They'd been the things we'd used fundamentally to make art. And now we expect things like the acrylic polymers and the synthetic chemicals and whatnot in acrylic paints. Like, that's the gold standard. That's normal. It hasn't been normal for the majority of human history. So I would say the strangest thing I've ever painted with is acrylic paints. I think that it's crazy that over the last few hundred years, you know, in the 1800s, the colours were so scarce, hard to come by. Only professionals had them. Now you can go down to your local store, purchase any colour you like, and make art. With any budget, you can buy colours. You don't need to be limited. You can't. Some people couldn't even buy the colour. Blue, ultramarine blue. They released prizes for it. The French government offered prizes if anyone could artificially make French aquamarine. That was in 1870, and then a Frenchman actually made it. Sorry, aquamarine. A Frenchman made it, and that's why it's called French aquamarine now. Prizes. Just so they could start using different colours of paint. This is serious stuff, guys. You might have heard of royal purple. It was royal because only the royals could afford it. Artists would have to take deposits of royals before starting a painting because they literally couldn't afford to buy the purple in order to make the painting. It would have been very frowned upon to charge a deposit to a royal for their painting, as if to say there's a possibility you wouldn't pay for it. Ooh, like, you know, it's such an insult. And yet, they had to, in the case of purple, because it was too expensive for the artist. So, and Jessica, I did go to university. I've studied a wide variety of things, but if you want to learn more about it, you want to leap on the About Me link in the bio, and you can learn all about my eclectic range of lessons. Motivations to help you create painting. I've been struggling with motivations. Interesting. When you say struggling with motivations, the motivation to start painting, probably when this happens to me, I've turned painting in my own mind into a grueling process, and I've started putting things into it through self-sacrifice, making a process that actually causes a drain on me. And so I try to find time in the week to do it, but after the end of an intense week, guys, we're working 40, 50, 60, 70-hour weeks. And then by the end of it, we're expecting to sit down and then work more and use more of our mental willpower to actually create paintings. Now that we've made our painting process an exhausting one too, good luck with that. So to make that work, because the week's not going to get easier, guys. Life's tough. To make that work, we need to make painting fun. We need to make it rejuvenating. We need to make it grow us. We need to make it something that at the end of the week, if we're tired and exhausted, you reach the end of the week and think, but thank God I get to sit down and paint. And so that can be with music, that can be using friends, that can be the subjects that you paint, that can be the manner in which you paint. Don't turn it into a drainer, guys. The reason why you find time or sometimes find time. Sometimes it can be tough, but the reason you find time to hang out with your friends or make time is because you know by doing so, you're going to be rejuvenated and you're going to grow through that process of spending time with those you love. So, in the same sense, your painting needs to become your best friend. It needs to become something sacred that will absolutely grow you. And we've each got a responsibility to find out ways to make our crafts sacred for ourselves. AG, I did used to travel a whole lot, but I travel less now, to be honest. And you're welcome, Laura. You know what, Laura? It's an absolute pleasure to have you here. Yeah. So I hope that helps. Find some ways, I don't know what they are yet, but find some ways to turn your craft into something that rejuvenates you. That's really, really important. You'd be like, well, it's not supposed to rejuvenate me, it's supposed to torture me. In the case of Van Gogh, I think we like to look at him as the tortured artist. And we think of him as always being tortured. I don't believe he was tortured when he was making the art. He was a tortured soul, but not while he was making the art. I believe at that point in time, that was the only point in time in which he was truly free. Because he found a way to make art in a way that would rejuvenate him. So even after crippling weeks, no art sales, people not liking him, being an art dealer but not a very successful one, even after all of that, he still found time to produce one painting, I think it was every 2 or 3 days, for the perpetuation of his whole art career. For 10 years, he produced about 2 or 3 paintings a year, guys. Factor that in, 2 or 3 paintings a week. Factor that in for a 10-year period. It was something outrageous. He produced like 3,000 works or something. Now, what's really important, it was 2,500 works. Someone correct me. But anyway, the only way you're able to do that is make your process rejuvenating, not draining. And we've got a responsibility to do that for ourselves. What worked for Van Gogh to make his process rejuvenating will be different from you. As I understand it, he liked having a bit of absinthe. I think he liked being by himself with a paint palette, the silence. I think he liked the urgency of trying to capture sunflowers when he had the sun right and before they'd wilt. I think he liked the fact of playing with certain colours. I think Naples yellow enamored him. I think he loved to play with that colour. I think it's, yeah. But for you, sometimes a playlist, sometimes a podcast, sometimes an interview. Sometimes you can be talking, listening to an artist that you actually like, or like a podcast with someone who motivates you. And simply by listening to them speaking and doing what they do, suddenly you find motivation to be more of yourself. That's a beautiful thing. And I also do wonder if anyone's popped into this live and they've been like, what is that? And continued scrolling. And haven't recognized what we're up to. Hey Nikki, how you doing? Good to have you in here. We're painting the bear. And we're going to be here for another 6 minutes, team. We've got 6 more minutes. And after that, I'm about to disappear. And Shelby's rigged up a dinner at 5 o'clock that I'm going to get to. A dinner with some friends. I'm going to sit down. We're going to talk about things. Yeah. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Here we go. Oh, that was a stroke. That was a good one. That was spotting a shape, applying the shape, and then when it landed, the hue was just dead on. That's like, you know how people say they like golf because it's this amazing, you're outside, it's a precision game, you know, and it's incredibly complex and deep, but it involves precision and skill. And then when you get that nice golf shot, you're enamored by it and addicted to it. At the same way, sometimes as an artist, you land a drop of paint and you think, wowza, that was exactly what that needed. And it's euphoric, it's charging, it's like a little adrenaline rush, a little kick of serotonin or a kick of dopamine. Sorry, what is some sort of locations you have visited? Oh, AG, all over the show. I've been to America 7 times, 8 times, 7 times, 6 times. I've been to America a lot. I've been to Indonesia a couple of times. I've been to Australia once when I was younger. I've been to Thailand, Laos. Never been to Cambodia, that's on the list. Never been to India, that's on the list. Antarctica, that's on my bucket list, that's a number 1. My father's been to Antarctica. I want to go to Antarctica. Izzy, how many hours have I painted on this? We had 20 minutes on the first day, and we've done about 40 minutes today so far. So we're on just over an hour now. So we're crossing over for an hour in these 4 minutes. And then paint me and send me, I paint. Absolutely, Nikki. Best thing to do though, is you've got the commission link, and you've got, it's the link in the bio. Use that, find the commission link, or contact me on Instagram or TikTok, but sometimes they get lost in the traffic on there, guys. So you definitely get looked after if you go via email or via the commission link, because it comes directly to me. Because sometimes Instagram has this, and TikTok has it too, these message request boxes, and like TikTok will sometimes, or Instagram definitely does, go, oh, not relevant, and it puts it in there, and then I don't catch it for like weeks, and people are like, yo, you never contacted me back, and I go in there and the message request is just like hundreds of spam messages, and then like a relevant one. So definitely, you can message me on there. I just say sometimes I miss it, and commission link in bio, best place to go. I would love to take a painting class with you. Oh, thanks, Buzz. Honestly, I've been working on something like that, Buzz. And I haven't quite nailed it yet, but I want to get an online class going. Nothing like a really intense thing where you'd like log in and have to be there in person or all this sort of crazy stuff. But something that actually, from the comfort of your own home, with a wine in your hand, or with Netflix playing, you can actually build up or encourage or bring out. I like the word education rather than teaching, because teaching is like, this is how you should paint. Let me force this into you. And education comes from some Greek words. I forget the exact translation, but it's to bring out. To bring out. And that's much more beautiful, because I don't think you can teach art. I think you can educate art. You don't tell someone how to paint. You show them how to find their own process. It's a very, very different thing. Wow, this is so cool. I want to go to Antarctica too. Me too. It's like $14,000 to just go there and like have a little look around. Or was it something more than that? I think me and Shelby were looking, it was like $44,000 or something outrageous to cover the whole trip. And I'm like, okay, well, I want you guys to know that if I ever become a famous artist, like super famous, like Damien Hirst style, I won't get the fancy car, I won't get the fancy house, I won't get the fancy dinners, still like Applebee's, still like the others, you know what I mean. But I will go to Antarctica. So if you ever see a Seb Gow original sell for $50 million on a giant auction somewhere, please know. Don't be thinking, oh, well, that's another artist who's going to buy himself a Bentley. You'd be like, oh, Seb's going to Antarctica for a week. Just paint with the like-minded people would be amazing. Yeah, Chunky, 100%. Also, Chunky, you were the one who guessed this picture the other day. Well, a few of us had it, but we were staying quiet. But yes, indeed. Being around people who think the same. Now, be careful. When you say think the same, like-minded people, you don't always want like-minded people, but you want people who share your intentions, who share your philosophy towards the world. People who want to grow you, and sometimes they'll have a different point of view, but they'll still love and care about you. And if you surround yourself with people who love and care about you, then even when they're against you, or their feedback's not positive towards you, it's actually to help grow you. And it's something that you shouldn't think, no, discredit, toxic, next person. It's something that you should think, wow, they're seeing it from a different perspective. I need to consider that. This is upside down. That's a different perspective. Friends are similar. And so sometimes we just need to sit down and see things from their perspective. And if we could do that more often, with more accepting, with more empathy, I think the whole world could be a far more beautiful place. But it's tough, guys. It's tough. Like if you get constructive feedback from a friend, we can't help but have our own insecurities pushed onto it, where we basically think, okay, but at the crux of this, you're saying you don't like what I'm currently doing, and therefore you don't like me, and therefore you're not my friend. Insecurities, powerful thing. But you need to get over that. Get thicker skin. Get thicker skin. And when your friend tries to give you constructive feedback, your loved ones try to talk to you, don't brashly force out their feedback. Actually, try and see it from their point of view. Try and embrace where they're coming from. And even if you disagree with it, try to understand the intentions behind what's being said. And that goes for art and in life in general, guys. If you can do that, you're going to be a far happier individual. To walk away from conversations with loved ones thinking that in this current moment in time they hate what you're doing, that's very morally and psychologically draining. But if in the moment of the conversation you can care about what they're saying, listen carefully, and end the conversation with a better understanding of the point of view they're coming from and how that actually translates to what they're saying and how they care about you, you're going to be better off. Far, far better off. When I say better off, I don't mean money, car, fame. What I mean by better off is you're going to be happier on a day-to-day, which is the greatest demonstrator of success you could possibly have in your life. People are like, no, success is the money in a car. We keep coming back to that fundamentally. No, having a house, having food on the table, these sorts of things, yes, they're important. But when it comes down to your own personal happiness, that is non-negotiable. And if you had to make the trade, and know this, if you had to make the trade between money or happiness, we would all choose happiness. Absolutely. We'd like both. But if we had to choose, who cares what a combination says in a bank? Yuck. Let's get that happiness. If we can get it. If it was a one-for-one trade. Absolutely. Anyway. Oh, Jeremy Allen White isn't done. No, Kirby. We're back on the grindstone. No, I just wanted to play around with it a bit more. Honestly, Kirby. It started as a fun painting. We're back upside down. Look, I wanted to add a bit more on yesterday. We were in a hurry. I dashed out. And I think we're in a fun place now, but it's sort of hard to see while it's upside down. And what I mean by that is the new perspective you get on a face while it's upside down. You see different shapes in different ways. So you think you might be going well, or more importantly, you think you might be going incredibly poorly. And then after you land a few coats, splash around a bit of paint, really authentically see shapes and hues and add them to where things actually are, suddenly, when you flip it up the right way, the picture's more than anything you could have imagined. You just weren't able to see it. And that's like having your nose in the sand grinding away. It's important to do it. But make sure you occasionally get things back in the right perspective and take a look. Cheers, AG. Appreciate that. I think we'll be all right. But we're coming... Oh, guys, we've reached our capacity. That's our timer. Like I said, I've got that dinner at 5 o'clock I need to rush off to. So let me just flip this up the right way for us. You may have been doing it with your phone so far, but I'll flip it up the right way so we can see where we got to. And one thing I really want you to pay attention to when we flip it up the right way is the things like the eyes. Whew, I'm trying to trip up. Focus on the eyes. And the reason I say focus on the eyes is because when we flip it up the right way, what will happen is we'll suddenly see the eyes the correct way up, and the shapes that surround them weren't seen as eyes, they were seen as just shapes and hues. which makes it a more real representation of Jeremy's eye. Not just, we know an eye looks like this, eyelid, eyelashes, shadow, highlights. Look at my beautiful eye. No, when it's upside down, we see shapes, hues, moments, flicks, and when we flip it up the right way, like, there's the eye. Okay, let's give it a go. You'd be like, he flips up the right way, and it looks nothing like the bear. Imagine if that was the case. There we go, that in there. Okay, cool. Let me also bring this around this way just a little bit into the shot. There we go, perfect. Okay, we've had our quick little fiery session. We've had our fun. Thanks, Philadelphia. It was only for charity and around for a week. And hey, JGJR. I'm doing good. Okay, let me just see, because I've got that light there. Is that coming from there? It's tilting that one away. Oh, it's this one here. Hold on. There we are. Kind of like a mad scientist right now. Kind of fun. Now, we added, what if I tilt it up? There we go. Let me actually bring these back. There we are. Bring this one back too, I reckon. There we are. And then when I tilt it up, take that shadow off it. There we go. So at the moment, and the interesting thing that happens straight away when you do this is the eyes themselves will be asymmetrical. So you'll notice that actually there's this little difference between where the eyes are placed, and that's totally fine. What happens typically when we're painting eyes is we balance them exactly right. You want that asymmetry to eyes. You need it. Anyway, voila. We're not finished yet. We're putting some crazy colors with the whites and the greens. He's got this laboratory feel as if he's like this, crazy scientist. But as we add more colors on, those will fall back. We'll bring out those blues, reds, and yellows. And let out a big sneeze and go from there. Now, let me just bring you up here, guys. It is December. I'm going to bring you in right and close here so you can see these eyes. That's what the eyes look like up close. And you see, actually, up close, there's very little detail. It's more just splashed color. It's more just, look at this, that's just a wild, wily brushstroke. So there is this very, very natural, crazy element to it. And only when we come away from it from a distance do we actually start to see a picture come together. But up close, we want to make that a bit more disorientated, a little more wild, a little more crazy. That's a tactic. Okay, guys, I have to dash. Sigaran, yes we do. If you'd like a painting, you can jump on the link in the bio, but I've got to go. Ooh, Cat. This is Auckland. So I'm at a place called The Crate, and it's in Albany, Auckland. Anyway, guys, AUT. Oh, good for you, Cat doing stuff. All right, guys, I'll catch you later. You're all a bunch of champions. Cheers for jumping in, Jay Smith. And look after yourselves, guys. Bye.